Hi, Exiles, Talkative Try here, and it's finally happening. Grinding Gear Games has announced the reveal and release date of the next Path of Exile 2 expansion, 0.5, The Return of the Ancients. And they have said this is going to be one of the largest Path of Exile expansions to date. So they need a little bit more time to cook, but that's perfectly fine because they released a banger teaser trailer that I don't want to watch with you all here today. I want to analyze it here. But first, very quickly, an announcement. My wife was supposed to go to ExileCon with me later this year, and I was also supposed to go to New Zealand, and I will still be going, God willing. However, we are now expecting a third baby girl. She is coming around October 24th, so as long as my wife is healthy and she ends up being healthy as well, thanks to my lovely family, I will still be flying out to New Zealand with my brother for ExileCon with a 1.5-week-old baby. It's just gonna be a quick work trip though. Okay, on to all the juicy hidden new information and some lore. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more lore in the future. Here we have the teaser trailer for Return of the Ancients, and this is not a trailer for a new league mechanic, not a new class, not a new act. This is specifically aimed at the Endgame revamp for Path of Exile 2. Just like Path of Exile 1 has an Of the Atlas theme with all its Endgame expansions, it appears Path of Exile 2's Endgame story will revolve around the Ancients, or the Precursors, and this is really the first stepping stone in that massive quest we're going to go on, encountering the Ancients. We've already seen their remnants, but finally, it looks like we're going to encounter them. Don't worry, I'm going to explain thoroughly throughout this video. And by the way, this video is purely game focused. We're not doing any delay drama talk right now. We open the teaser trailer with this massive statue emerging from the continent of Rayclass. We can see all around mountains, forest, precursor towers, all the like. It's obvious that this is occurring on the Atlas that we're going to play on, the Infinite Atlas. And I'm gonna freeze frame right here, because we already missed a bunch, and honestly, I missed it too, but some sleuths in the community already figured out some pretty crazy stuff that we're gonna go back and see. But this opening shot, or this final shot, made me just floored, because there's a couple things hiding here. First and foremost, this centerpiece right here. This is the Burning Monolith, the building you enter when you go to fight the Arbiter of Ash presently. It's the primary endgame goal in Path of Exile 2, and in 0.5, it is only a single piece of a greater structure. I really need to double down on that aspect right here. Here is the Burning Monolith entrance, what we see right now in Path of Exile 2, and here is everything else that is being added as far as we see it. A massive fortress that extends beyond the vision of this particular screenshot. My big theory is we're not getting a revamp of the Infinite Atlas, we're seeing a massive layer dropped on top of the Infinite Atlas. This fortress is going to span a tremendous area on the Infinite Atlas and act almost as a giant dungeon, I think, that we'll be able to go in and explore. It's going to hold new boss encounters, new map types, new rewards, all the like, and it's going to slot into the Infinite Atlas, which I'm guessing will receive some significant quality of life improvements just to the base Atlas itself and to the Atlas trees. But this thing right here, per some other press releases, such as this one from Games Press, is going to span continents in Rayclass, massive stretches of the Atlas. I think this is going to be not a new biome, but a new mega biome that we'll be able to traverse for a tremendous time in Endgame. I made an April's Fool video talking about a boss gauntlet in which you're going through a huge tower, fighting boss after boss after boss. Well, maybe I was onto something with this. And if we return back to the video very early on, right about here, freeze framing, I saw there were statues. I thought, okay, they probably mean something. This center statue is obviously missing something. What could that be? And upon realizing there was the burning monolith in the future that rises out as only a section of this fortress, I realized, oh my goodness, the flame seed that the Nazgul guy steals from the Arbiter of Ash once we kill him, I bet that slots right into this central figure, but it goes even deeper because it's very likely, given the name of the expansion, Return of the Ancients, that these figures right here are representing the Ancients. Well, where have we seen the Ancients before? Well, I know that we've learned about them in the excavation map in Act 4 when we're reassembling the weapon, but my mind didn't know, okay, there were actually depictions of these guys right here, of the Ancients all the way back in Act 4. But people on Reddit, there's some geniuses on Reddit, did. If you actually go and look at everybody in the teaser trailer, there's 8 different figures in addition to the primary central figure in the center, who are all totally going to be boss fights, by the way. They all match people inside the excavation map of Act 4, which was built by the Ancients. So these guys must be tremendously powerful, influential leaders. You can see all of them right here. In the Ancients, of the Ancients, the people who built the forge that was used to create the instrument of the Third Edict, what we're going to try to use to slay the beast once more. And you gotta think grinding your games is future-proofing this for when Act 6 comes out, and you'd think we would be killing the beast. So once we kill the beast in Act 6, then we go into this story interacting with the original beast killers from the Elder Days of Rayclast. Absolutely love the phrase Elder Days, by the way. And in addition, there's a very detailed mural in there that shows this guy right here using the weapon that we just constructed to attack the beast all those ages ago. So before we go any further, what are the Ancients? Well, the Ancients existed before the Vow. They existed before Sin, who is ancient himself, but not an ancient, don't get confused. They're not gods, but they're obviously an incredibly powerful variety of people or creature that may have been like Calandra, who is one of the oldest entities in all of Rayclast. She's really just a bird, but not really like Calandra. They are actually an enigma. We see references to ancients or precursors all throughout Path of Exile 2 and in some places in Path of Exile 1, particularly Delve. In Path of Exile 2, you might remember the names Precursor from Precursor Tablets and Precursor Towers. These things are all about changing the shape, changing the actual world itself. And it really seems like that's what these guys, the Ancients or Precursors, did. It even seems like they're protectors of the world, at least in the distant past. They obviously aren't assisting us in the present. So maybe the awakening of the beast and then the slaying of this new beast did kickstart this whole process. Maybe the Arbiter of Ash is an ancient himself looking to wake up the other ancients that are buried deep beneath the ground. Maybe the Nazgul who steals the flame seed from the Arbiter once we slay him is an ancient too. We really have no idea. So I said this was going to be a lore video, but this is really a speculation video. That's what we're going to call it. One thing is for sure, they're not the ancestors. This is not Trial of the Ancestors. This isn't Act 5 and Oriath. This is the development of a brand new story unique to Path of Exile 2. Path of Exile 1 dealt with eldritch entities from galaxies far, far away. Path of Exile 2 is dealing with the oldest beings to exist on the world of Rayclast that went missing, but obviously had a lot of impact in the ancient times of the world and in the deep places of the world. And we're finally going to get to see that story develop in 0.5. A little bit more evidence adding to that argument. Uncover each chapter of Return of the Ancients content update arriving May 29th. I think this story, there's going to be a real story in the end game now, not what we have currently, which is quite vague. And the Arbiter of Ash talks about the fourth edict already burns for your world and all that. It's very vague. It's a little boring. There's not a lot of context. I think there's going to be an actual tale to tell in the end game in this next update, and it's going to continue in future updates. They're really laying the foundation here because let's be real, there's no foundation set for the end game story in Path of Exile 2. There is one in Path of Exile 1, nada in PoE 2. I'm excited to see it come in 0.5. The new community lead manager, Kelly, let's welcome in Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Dropped this piece on Twitter and Reddit saying this is going to be one of the largest Path of Exile expansions of all time, which is what really feeds into my theory that the Infinite Atlas isn't being reworked. It's just getting tuned a lot, and there is a new content system that layers on top of it in this fortress that spans continents. I also think based on this and the delay, it is more likely that we're going to get a class alongside the end game revamp and one banger of a lead. She's also been posting some pretty vague and silly teasers as of late. You might think this isn't a teaser, but I do think it does point a little bit toward Duelist. I don't want to get into the weeds, but expect more of these between now and May 7th, and honestly, the rest of Path of Exile 2's life as long as Kelly is involved. This is something that the old community manager used to do quite a bit, memeing with the community, poking fun, making people go crazy, and it looks like Kelly is embodying that same sort of energy. While we have a significant amount of time before the reveal and release of 0.5, we have no shortage of things to talk about, like what's coming in the end game or the whole delay thing. What happened to locking content and not dates? Wait. Isn't it the opposite? Well, you'll get to hear my take on that in a future video. It might be out right now. Click it on your screen if it is out right now. But for now, check out this podcast with my brother and I. And remember to like the video if you enjoyed the content and leave a comment below and subscribe for more Talkative Try PoE2 videos.